For some reason, this tournament, 16 people, feels like we got 12 brain-dead variety streamers who all we do is we watch memes and then accrue Prime subs. And then we got 4 whole-ass nerds in this tournament. I don't know how they snuck in. I'll be honest, okay? They know who I'm referring to. I'm live on Chess's stream. Well, good. Well, good. They should hear this. It's unfair. E-Rob and boxbox in the same tournament, there is a difference between the two people. We can admit this. We can say it out loud.
Actually, you know what, chat? One second. Before I get going in the games, I'm going to put something out there as well, just very briefly. So one thing that amazes me with this DMCA stuff that's incredible is we live in a world, and it's not about politics specifically, but we live in a world where it's supposed to be a free market. It's capitalism. It's a free market. The best people, the best product, whatever it is, wins the day and rules the day. And to me, it's very strange that on something like music and copyrighted music, it's bizarre to me that there is not, say, Spotify for Twitch, where you have streamers based on the number of people who are watching pay some fee every month so that these artists do get paid. So to me, it's insane that no one's come up with this idea, because why not? I'll give you an example. Let's say I have 10,000 viewers or 20,000 viewers. Am I really going to have some problem paying X amount of money, so that I can listen to it, and then the VODs don't get muted and everyone is happy? To me, it's absurd that this hasn't happened yet, really, because it's just, I don't know. It just seems insane, honestly. It feels like it's a market, it's one of those market ideas that someone should have come up with and done it, but it is what it is. So, all right, you guys, let's start looking at the games. In the meantime, while we're at it, so E4, E5 was played. So knight to F3. Now knight to F6 was played here by Papaplatte, playing the Petrov defense. Very surprising opening choice, certainly, by Papaplatte. Not something that I would have expected. So bishop C4 is played. Kind of a surprising move. I think Swiftor is pretty new. When it's easy and no one has done it, it means it's not easy. No, I didn't say it's easy, you guys, but it's one of those things where there's too much clutter. There's too much going on when it feels like everybody should be able to get together and fix it. And I would say it's, to use a political example, I would say it's similar to healthcare. They're middlemen, they're the providers, the individuals. There are too many people on all ends of the spectrum. And it feels like I would say it's the same thing. Music is too loud. I think the music is okay. Let me double check. Let me just make sure the music is good. I think it's good, but I'll just double check with my mods. Just give me 1 second. Okay. All right. Okay, you guys. So yeah. Also, again, I feel like there are many things that could be done to sort it out. But yeah. I think the music is okay, but let me just double check. Yeah, the sound is good. Okay, you guys. So yeah. All right, so let's keep going through the game. So Swiftor is a guy who's very new to chess, I believe. So because Swiftor is so new to chess, I think certainly the way that he approaches it. I'll just turn it down one. Okay, there we go. It's a little loud. Okay, there. I turned it down just a touch. Okay. Okay, so as I was saying, let's look at the chess now. So Swiftor is a guy who's very new to chess. So he's trying to learn the basics and be very straightforward. And I think certainly Papaplatte showing some deep understanding and playing the Petrov defense kind of confused him. So he plays bishop c4 here. Papaplatte plays knight to c6 to defend the pawn. Black could have captured the pawn in the center, but they're both relatively new, so I understand why they played this. Bishop c5, d3, knight g4. I missed both games. Who won? There were 3 games played today, you guys. So I will be going over all 3 of the games. Hutch is playing. Yeah, I might watch that later. Anyway, knight g4 played by Papaplatte. A little bit too aggressive, trying to attack without developing the king, but not so bad. So d4, pawn takes pawn. Good move by Papaplatte. Bishop g5. Now, I did not actually watch this game, you guys. So when I'm going through it, I was not watching this game. I was actually helping someone else in preparation of their match today. So okay, so bishop g5, f6 played by Papaplatte, basically to attack the bishop here. Bishop to h4, d takes c3 to win one of the knights. Now white took the pawn. I guess Swiftor here should have played queen to d5, going for a double attack and checkmate towards the king with the battery lined up here. So this would have been a better try because already white is down one juicer. You're already down a knight, and knights and bishops tend to be very important pieces to develop. Critical is talking trash. Yeah, exactly. So queen d5 is better. Pawn takes pawn. Papaplatte plays g5 to attack the bishop. Knight g5. Pawn takes knight, and now Swiftor is really behind here. He's behind by 2 knights. He's given up 2 knights. The king is still kind of open if you can line it up with the bishop and the queen. But in general, it's very hard to play. Now, he takes this pawn, and now Papaplatte takes this bishop. At this point, it's already 3 pieces. Black has 2 bishops and 2 knights. White only has one bishop here, so it's really, really kind of hard to play. He goes to a4. Papaplatte takes with the knight. Can I go slower? This game was pretty short, so that's why I'm not gonna slow it down. I'm not gonna make it super slow. So okay, all right. So knight takes f2, which attacks the rook and attacks the queen. Swiftor goes bishop f7. Papaplatte just takes the bishop. So now white is down. Black has 2 bishops, 2 knights, and white is simply down four pieces. So he goes king e2, and now after knight takes d1, king d1, rook e8, rook f1, king g7. Black is basically just winning. Again, he's up a queen, he's up 2 bishops and a knight. So h3, rook takes e4, rook f7, and now after king f7, another free piece. If this was 3 checks, white would have won the game. I think he delivered 3 checks in this game. This is 1 check. This is 2 checks. And this is 3 checks. So if they'd been playing a variant of chess called 3 checks, then white would have won this game. But unfortunately, they were playing regular chess, not the variant. And so after king f7, g4, queen to e3, g5, queen to e1, this was checkmate. And with this win, Papaplatte won his first game in the group stage. So he moves up to 3 points. He's won 1 game. Swiftor has lost 1 game. So After one round, we have all the results, but we'll talk about this one specifically. Papaplatte is in Group D, I believe, with boxbox, so he's off to a very good start. The critical match in this group is going to be Papaplatte against Ludwig in terms of who advances to the champions bracket. I don't have the bracket up, you guys. I mean, I don't think I can get it. Let me see if I can pull it up quickly. Let me see if I can get an image quickly. Did I already analyze forsen against xChocobars? No, that was the second game. I'll get to that game in a second. I'm just seeing if I can get a graphic to pop up. So just give me 1 second. Can we keep seeing crazy shirts for the rest of the tournaments? What do you mean? This is not a crazy shirt. I mean, wasn't this shirt in fashion like in the 1980s when like there's Miami Vice? Or am I just insane? Like, I mean, this isn't a crazy shirt. Boomer, yeah. I actually like that. I'm actually joking. I think I literally have watched maybe like 2 episodes of that show, but I remember like the shirts that Don Johnson was wearing in that were kind of similar. I guess I don't know. Like I didn't really ever watch the show, but I think I saw like 1 or 2 episodes. So yeah, just give me 1 second, you guys. I'm gonna pop up a graphic in 1 second. Miami Vice is legit, yeah, but Miami Vice is like 50 gazillion years ago. Okay, so 1 second, you guys. Let me download this and pop this up. Okay, so I'm gonna pop in an image. So we have the actual standings for every single group. So I'm gonna pop this up right now. Or no, actually, no, I won't pop it up right now. I'll pop it up after. So thank you to Hans Molman for the 5 gifts. Thank you to Shadow Rush X for the Prime, Blaze and Blasian for the 500 bits, Original Harks for the 2 months, Whale 422 2 months, Zekal X for the Tier 1, Deedster for the 2 months, On My Milk for the Prime, Papalina for the 100 bits, 2 Geets for the Prime, Ubahars for the Prime, Coniator for the Prime, Method UZZ for the Prime, Skaz for the 2 months, AlCZZ for the Prime, Big Darium 100 bits, Eric the Red 19 months, Andrea M112 for the 2 months. Thank you so much to everybody for all the love and support. So for right now, I'm going to go over the games, and once I go over the games, then I'll show you guys the actual standings. Thank you to Panda for the Prime as well. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, you guys. So this was the first game, which Swiftor won, or not Swiftor, sorry, Papaplatte won against Swiftor. Any coaching today? Yeah, in about an hour, I will be helping out Fuslie in preparation for her match in the second round against VoyBoy. Thank you to Blazin for the, Blazin for the 500 bits, Brett LA Tour for the 200 bits, and Weedham Walls for the Prime. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. So yeah, all right, you guys. So we're going to keep going. Let's look at the second game between Chocobars and forsen. Or wait, yeah, okay, there we go. Okay, so let's pop this game up. Second game of the day. This was the one. Let's look winner's point of view. So we'll look at it from the black side. This was a game between Chocobars and forsen. Was I surprised there were no draws this round? Not really. I mean, I think in terms of the matchups, Ludwig against boxbox is objectively the closest match in terms of the ranking. And I think also at the level they're at, it's going to be very hard to have draws. The game, if you guys ask me to pick a game that I think might be a draw, let me think of a matchup that I think is close that could be a draw. I could see E-Rob against NateHill being a draw, or maybe XQC against Moist Critical being a draw. Those are probably the two matches. No, you guys, I'm talking before we reach the brackets. I'm talking in the group stage, not in the final bracket stage, but in the group stage. Those are the two games that I could see being draws. So okay, let's look at the game. So the game starts knight f3, d5, g3. When am I helping QVC? Or XQC, sorry. I'll be helping XQC if he wants some help. I think he said once he reaches the bracket stage. So I'll be helping him once we reach the bracket stage. Yeah. So G3, knight C6, bishop G2, E5, D3, knight F6 castles, E4 played by forsen. Big mistake here. I did actually show this exact position to. He said before next match. Oh, I wasn't sure when XQC wanted to look at something. Well, I'm sure he's streaming, so if somebody can mention it, then yeah, I can definitely do something with him. Anyway, let's stick to the game. So I knew forsen would probably be very aggressive in this matchup and try to attack. So he went forward with the pawn. Now, the reason this is a bad move is because, let's go back here. Let's say white castles the king. Now, when you push this pawn, the knight gets removed, and you have two pawns in the center. So you see the pawns and the knight support each other very nicely. Whereas in the game, forsen immediately tries to attack. He figures, okay, I'm going to go right after this knight at the start. But after takes, queen takes queen, knight takes, Chocobars played knight g5, the correct move to attack the pawn. You're attacking with two pieces here. And now forsen played bishop c5. He could have moved the bishop out to f5, but after knight to c3, white attacks his pawn with three pieces. Black only protects it with two, so black is going to be behind by one pawn at least. So forsen plays bishop g5, or bishop c5, I should say. Too fast, I'm lost. Okay, well, the point here is that black has one loose pawn. The pawn is loose, whereas black doesn't have the two pawns. So that's why this was such a bad move. In this situation, because you don't have the pawn behind for the support. Forsen was scared by the speed of Chocobars at the beginning. Yeah, because I mean, he literally played something that I showed to her a couple days ago. So I guess what I would say out of that, it shows that when I've been helping the players, I don't know if it's like. I mean, I'm not trying to sound like egotistical, but I seem to have a very good feel for what setups people will play against certain openings if they haven't ever seen it before. Because I had no idea. Like when I've helped forsen, I've only helped him with like the Budapest or the Latvian Gambit, and so I had no idea what he would play against Chocobars. So when I was helping Janet, I was kind of trying to come up with basic setups that I thought a beginner player might play, and I really had no idea that what would happen. Is forsen would literally fall into this trap. Like I was just I was stunned when I saw that he played this. That's pretty egotistical, but okay. I'm just saying I'm taking guesses, you guys. So yeah. Anyway, all right. So bishop c5 is played. So knight e4, trade bishop e4. Castles played by forsen, knight c3. Maybe not the move that I would have played here. Maybe you want to move the knight to a better square, like here, move the bishop. Oh, it's fine. Okay, you guys are trolling me as usual, and I'm 102 Papega here. I don't know what a joke is, obviously. But anyway, Yeah, so it's years of experience. I mean, I guess the way I think about it is like the way that I approach the game as well. Like normally I tell pieces you want pawns in the center, right? So it makes sense that forsen would say, I'm going to put pawns in the center. Who's the joke of Twitch now? Yeah. By the way, to be clear, I was just being funny with that. That was not intended at all. But you will see the moves and what I say correlates to the rating level that they are. Because, you know, when I look at someone like forsen or I look at boxbox or VoyBoy, I expect perfection. I expect higher quality moves out of them than I expect out of some of the other players. So the way that I tend to view the games or what my expectations are, it varies based on their ranking level and what I expect. And so when I'm saying joke of Twitch about forsen, it's because like the dude is good. Like he's one of the favorites to win the whole event. So I expect the best out of him. Stop expecting that from forsen though. Forsen and perfection. Okay. All right, you guys. Forsen and perfection. Fair enough. I'm going to do something with Skara maybe down the road. I was thrilled by Skara's play against boxbox the other night. Definitely someone that I knew had played chess when he was younger, but I was not expecting like, again, the great openings and the general quality of moves for someone who has not touched chess in so many years. Okay, so bishop e4 castles, knight c3, rook e8 was played by forsen. Now here Janet plays rook e1. I did try to instill in her the notion that you want to put the rooks on the open files that you have. So rook e1 was an unfortunate move, but I understood why she played it. So now forsen plays bishop b4 here. And now she plays a3, which unfortunately is a big blunder. What she should have done here was probably move this bishop back to one of these squares like f3 or g2. Because what happens here is black removes the defender. When you push the pawn, black takes. And now you no longer have the knight guarding the bishop. So once you trade the bishop for the knight, it's just a free bishop here. What is rook e1? It's a logical move. She thought about what too? She thought about moving the bishop. I mean, I'll probably actually go back and watch some of the VODs of the various players just to have an idea of what specifically they were thinking throughout the game. But yeah, it was very unfortunate here because if she moved the bishop back, she could have then developed the bishop and brought the rook into the game, and she would have been much better. Actually, already I think if we pull up the evaluation bar, you'll see it's plus 0.82, so it's plus almost 1 pawn for white at this point. This tournament is amazing. I never thought that chess would make me laugh. Yeah, I mean that's the point of it. It's I think mainly you want the players to have a good time, and one of the things that I'm really happy with. In the event so far is that even the people who lose, like they're having a good time. Everyone's having a good time, and they're enjoying it. I think there was one player who wasn't very happy when he lost, but I feel like most people have been pretty happy with what's been going on. They seem to be in a good mood, having a good time. Everybody's really enjoying themselves. So yeah, I've been very happy with what I've seen. Slicker is a character, man. Slicker is amazing. He's one of the best content creators on Twitch. Like the guy is amazing. Is there some Slicker clip where he can't say anything? I'm not happy when I lose either. Yeah, but you have to understand, you guys, this is different. So you have a lot of streamers who are new to chess or even just starting to play chess to begin with, and so like there's a lot of pressure. Like it's very nerve-wracking, I think, to play chess in front of thousands of people. It's a new game, everybody's new. You don't really know, like you're not a genius at the game yet. So I think the fact that everybody's in a good mood, they're having a good time, is good. Slicker showed his mobile phone on stream. Wait, did he show his phone number? Did he really do that? Okay, all right. Okay, you guys. Call Slicker. Yeah, I'm gonna find my phone and find the clip and give him a ring. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so someone says chess had 70K watching. 800 rate players tournaments have 70,000 viewers, and the clutch with Magnus is 2K. Yeah. He went offline, right? Of course. So yeah. Yeah. So anyway, the point was Janet should have brought her bishop back, and then she can develop the bishop, bring the rook into the game. White has one extra pawn, so white is doing very, very well here. So this would have been the best way to play. Oh, he ended his stream after? Yeah, I mean, that does suck, obviously, having to switch your number and so forth. But he did it while they were helping Hans with getting a girlfriend. Okay. All right, so anyway, Janet plays a3. Unfortunately, after takes rook e4. Now, forsen is up one knight here. So she plays f3, good move. Tries to remove the rook from the center square. Forsen goes rook c4, excellent move. Putting the rook in front of these two pawns and trying to attack. Bishop to b2 played here. And now bishop f5 played by Forsen. And here, why I just joined Hikaru Analyzing Games of 700 because we're analyzing games from the PogChamps tournament that just occurred here on Twitch. If you're unfamiliar with the event, it is an event featuring 16 of the top streamers on Twitch. Playing chess against each other. So we're looking at the games not to see the quality or to make fun of them, but to try to give you guys a more advanced understanding of what was going on and so forth. Okay, so rook c1 is played here by played by Chocobars. Knight to e6, and now e4 played. I don't really want to use the evaluation bar at the moment because I feel like I'm generally explaining to you guys what's going on, who's better, and what's happening. So basically at this point, white is down one knight here, but white has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Black is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So black is up by 2 points. I'm disappointed that Hikaru's analysis isn't just nonstop hysterical laughing. I'm treating this very seriously, guys. This is serious analysis, it's not about making fun of streamers. So Forsen plays bishop h3, good move here. Rook to d1 was played. And now Forsen plays knight to g5 to try and attack the pawn. Okay, so plays knight g5, attacking the pawn. Here Chocobars plays rook f1. What she should have done here is brought the rook up to d3, try to stack the rooks on the d file and go for the patented ice skater. So let me just make a couple of random moves. If white gets this after rook d8, rook takes rook, rook takes rook. This is checkmate. The king is stuck behind the 3 pawns here. So basically, rook f1 is played here, and now Forsen. This was the critical moment in the game, by the way, and this is when I made the joke. When I made the joke, I was about to laugh in the Forsen Chocobars interview. I don't know at what point you're talking about. Maybe if someone has a clip, I can watch it afterwards. But anyway, at this point, it's Forsen used, I think, 2 minutes here, and he didn't take this rook on f1 with his bishop. Now, if this was one of the more of the beginner players, I probably would not. I would not kind of expect it. But because Forsen is one of the favorites, one of the better players in the event, I was deeply disappointed in Sebastian for not playing bishop takes rook because he should have seen the move. Especially when he used 2 minutes, he should have seen the move. That is his name, right? Isn't his name Sebastian, or am I wrong? That is his name, right? Isn't his name Sebastian Forz, or am I wrong? Yes. Okay. 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 You guys are just gonna troll me. Okay. Whatever. His name is Forsen, right? His name is Forsen. Yeah. Okay. His name is Forsen. Okay. Okay. All right. So he's like Madonna or Seal now, right? He's like the one name. He's the one name guy. All right. So all right. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Okay. You guys. All right. So as I was saying, he should have taken this rook on f1 here with his bishop. Instead, he plays g6, which actually is not a terrible move. It creates a square for his king. You have some lift here to move the king up. So rook f2, Forsen is sealed. Yeah. Okay, so f5, good move by Forsen, trying to open up this center part of the board. He has an extra bishop, extra knight, and he wants to bring his pieces back. So rook e2, knight f3, king f2, fe4, and here Chocobars plays king e3, and now Forsen goes bishop g4, trying to line up an attack on the rooks here, a skewer. So a4, and now Forsen plays knight e5, and at this point, I think the game is pretty close to loss. Chocobars plays bishop a3. Black takes the rook. White takes now after rook c3. I'll just show the last couple of moves. The outcome was never really in doubt at this point, but I will show it anyway. The music is not too loud, you guys. I adjusted it down. It's on your end. So rook c2, king e1 is played. And now Forsen goes knight f3, king f1, e3. Here in Chocobars plays rook to e1. And here Forsen missed a checkmate. He could have moved the rook here, and the pawn supports the rook, and the knight covers kind of every square is covered here. So rook f2 would have been a checkmate at this point. Forsen played knight takes rook, also completely fine, very safe move. King e1, rook to e8, bishop c5, e2, bishop f2, rook c1, and now black makes a queen. basically perfect technique at this point from forsen. He goes c5, goes c4, a5, c3, king d3, c2, a6, makes a check. King to c4, he goes rook b1, takes and makes a queen, and this is checkmate. The rooks cover all the squares. Queen covers here. However, forsen made a mistake. He should have gone c1. How do I make the move? Let me make a random move. Oh wait, sorry you guys. I have auto promote on. 1 second. Let me change the settings. How do I 1 second. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, so what forsen should have done here is he should have pushed the pawn and made a rook, and this would have been a much more aesthetic checkmate. You have the 3 rooks just checking the king, and the king can never go any which way here. So this is just checkmate. The king's stuck in this stuck on the c file. So this would have been the BM way, but forsen, he's a guy who has a lot of respect. Just doing things the right way. He makes the queen instead, and it's checkmate here. Okay. So all right, you guys. Actually, let me change my settings so I don't. If I play chess later, I don't actually lose the game because I don't have this turned on. So yeah. I mean, the 3 rook checkmate would have been kind of the BMing, but anyway, yeah. So all right. So with this win, forsen wins his first game, and he moves into lead with 3 points in his group. Did you know that forsen was famous for his BM in Hearthstone? Yes, I'm aware of forsen as a Hearthstone streamer. I'm being somewhat sarcastic at times during this analysis. But anyway, all right, you guys. So yeah, let's go to the third game, which I believe was between Ludwig. It was between Ludwig and boxbox, I believe. Yeah, let's pull up this game. Okay, so we'll look at the third game, and this game was actually pretty short, but both players used a lot of time, so it was a very, 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 very up and down game. Why isn't Rectful in this? I asked Byron, he declined. Okay, so anyway, knight f3, knight c6. Ludwig plays c3. He plays the Panziani opening that I taught him last night, which I thought was a good way to play something different to confuse his opponent. So now boxbox goes g6. Whoa, thank you to I Am Rosen for the raid with 522 people. Thank you so much to I Am Rosen for the raid. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. So d4, pawn takes pawn. Ludwig takes with the pawn. And now here, boxbox plays e5. And now pawn, bishop b5 is played here by Ludwig. Pawn takes pawn was definitely the best move here. I think Ludwig he was a little bit uncomfortable. He sort of combined the ideas instead of just finding a straightforward plan. So he should have taken the pawn because after boxbox captures with the queen, white moves the knight out, attacks the queen. Let's say queen goes back. Now you push the pawn, you remove the knight. Let's say the knight goes here, and you can even be more annoying and go queen to d4 to attack this rook, and black no longer can develop the bishop here. And it's just really, really good for here for white. How's it going? I Am Rosen. Thanks again for the host. Really, really appreciate it. Hope all is going well, and I will get back to you about the other things shortly. So at this point, this is really good. Actually, I'll briefly turn on the evaluation. So I think you guys can see the evaluation, right? Plus 2.47. And it's rising, plus 272. So basically, if this had happened, Ludwig would have been winning by the equivalent of 3 pawns. So Ludwig really missed a golden opportunity in this game to really take it to boxbox. Maybe as part of the strategy, but at any rate, this would have been very, very good for him if he had done this. So unfortunately, Ludwig did not do this. He played bishop to b5. So boxbox takes the pawn, and now he goes queen a4. And at this point, boxbox played bishop d7. Very strange move. He could have taken the knight. After takes queen c6. It's this mini pyramid of Giza, but it doesn't work here because black moves the bishop, hits the queen, and the queen guards the rook. And now black has 1, 2, 3. White has 1, 2, and black is just winning the game. So this would have ended the game right away. However, boxbox played bishop to d7. Now Ludwig played knight e5. He plays knight e7. Ludwig castles. Bishop to e7, and now he goes bishop to f4 to protect the knight, overprotect it with 2, because at this point black is 1, 2, so black would win this trade. So bishop f4, boxbox goes a6 here. Ludwig plays bishop c4. Again, another mistake. And boxbox castles here. What he could have done is he could have played knight takes knight, and you have the fossil here because what happens is you attack the queen here. This is, you capture one thing, but now you fossil into the queen on a4, and black is up a knight, and white will have to move the queen, and then you take again, and you'll see uno dos tres, uno dos. So black is an extra bishop here, and black is completely winning again. And to make matters worse, black can even go here, and you are going to win more material because you skewer the queen and the rook. So after bishop c4, boxbox castles, and now Ludwig plays queen b3 here. Boxbox goes bishop e6, which is a terrible move, by the way, because at this point, black can just trade this knight and move a knight out, and there's no longer a threat against this king here. But instead, he plays bishop e6, and at this point, Ludwig made a huge mistake. He did not take this bishop. If he had taken this bishop after pawn takes, queen takes, and black moves the king over here, white can go knight here, check, hitting the king and forking the king and the queen, and black would have to take the knight, and then after queen takes rook, queen takes pawn, white can simply, I guess, probably develop, maybe move the queen back or move the knight out or the bishop out, but it is completely fine for white. And if this had happened, it would have been very, very complicated. So I was very surprised that Ludwig didn't see this. He used quite a bit of time. Unfortunately, here he made a mistake. He played rook to d1, and now after knight takes d4, the queen protects the knight, and the queen is under attack. Your bishop is kind of under attack. It's all very, very sketchy here for white. So Ludwig plays queen b7. And after bishop takes c4, I did not set up my new PC yet. No, I didn't. And after knight c4, knight to e2 is played by boxbox with the fossil. You hit the king, and then you take the queen, and the white king gets fossilized permanently. So you go king f1, queen takes d1, the game ends, and white's king is checkmated here. So boxbox played an interesting game. He missed a couple wins early, but again, at the end, he finished nicely, fossilizing into the checkmate. So it was a very good start for boxbox. He wins the first game, and he jumps to the top of his bracket. So all right, you guys, I am going to pop up the standings now. So let me turn on my music as well while I'm at it. So here are the standings after all the games have been played in the first group. So let's pop this up here. I think you guys can see it now. So we have in Group A, you have VoyBoy and Fuslie on 3 points. You have NateHill and eRob on 0. In Group B, you have Hutch and Yassuo on 3 points. You have Moist Critical and XQC on no points. In Group C, you have forsen and Nim on 3 points because they both won their games respectively against XChocobars and Slicker. And then in Group D, you have Papaplatte and boxbox on 3 points, and Swiftor and Ludwig on 0 points. So we had 8 decisive games. As you see, because the scoring system is +3 for a win, 1 for a draw, 0 for a loss. So right now, if we had brackets at this present moment, it would be VoyBoy and Fuslie moving on in Group A, Hutch and Yassuo in Group B, Nim and forsen in Group C, and then Papaplatte and boxbox in Group D. So right now, there are 2 clear people leading in every single group, but the upcoming matchups are going to be very critical. So if I don't have it on this tab, so I'm going to pull it up in another one. But let me pull up the round 2 in a second. Let me pull this up. Okay. So I'm just going to pull up the match schedule. Okay. So starting tomorrow, round 2 begins for everybody. Tomorrow's June 8th, I believe. So we have eRob facing NateHill. So first, you see eRob and NateHill both are on 0. Winner of this game will jump to 3 points and have a shot to jump into the top 2 spots in the final game. So this is a very, very critical matchup between eRob and NateHill. I think it's going to be very close. I don't know who's going to win, but it's going to be a very close matchup. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. So they play tomorrow. And the second match will be also Group A. It will be VoyBoy against Fuslie, the 2 leaders in Group A. Obviously, VoyBoy being one of the favorites to win the whole event. It's going to be a tough matchup. But I definitely am pulling for Fuslie. I am going to be giving her a lesson in about half an hour. So that will be coming up as well. So hang around for that. So those are the first 2 matchups tomorrow, and then the third matchup will be between Hutch and Yassuo. So another big matchup. I'm not biased, you guys, but I always like to root for the underdogs, for sure. So the third matchup of the day will be between Hutch and Yassuo, the 2 leaders in Group B. So another big matchup, and somebody's going to probably clinch their berth tomorrow into the champions bracket in Group B and possibly in Group A as well. So a lot of stuff going on. It's going to be interesting to see the next matchups. But those are the 3 matchups tomorrow, and they will be very important matchups. So okay, you guys. All right, so that pretty much covers the games today on day 3 of the PogChamps tournament. So yeah, I think I am going to actually play some chess. Thank you to Luke Kazich for the Prime, Killer Penguin for the 100 bits, Super Rad SAX for the Prime, Danny Race for the Prime, Canars for the 500 bits, ZT Shane for the Prime, Penguin for the Prime, Bottom Boys for the Prime, Pokeass for the 2 months, Thenomon for the Prime, Aries RV for the Prime, Conman for the Prime, Practice Goosey for the 3 months, Youngwell for the 5, King Amex for the Tier 1, Danny 1887 for the Prime, Chris Gilbert for the Prime, Toggy for the 100 bits, Uface for the Prime, Code AF for the Prime, Helsinki Freund for the 200 bits, Torture for the Prime, MC Ham 96 for the Prime, Deucey for the Boncloud Speed Merch, LT for the Prime, and Gizmokes for the Prime. Thank you to Slakanch for the Prime as well. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So yeah, Coach Fuslie, I will be helping her in about 40 minutes or thereabouts. So that's going to be my plan. In the meantime, I think I will probably play some chess. Thank you to Illyris for the 2 months. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Actually, no, you know what? I won't play chess. I'll watch some clips. Let's watch clips instead. Okay, so do we have our bag of clips from today? I guess is the first question. This is today? Okay, let's watch this.
He's playing blindfolded.
Oh, shoot, I have no time.
Can Hikaru do this too?
I don't know. That's what I was thinking. Can Hikamaru do it?
Yeah, bro, he's playing blindfolded.
Oh, shoot, I have no time.
Can Hikakaru do this too?
I don't know. That's what I was thinking. Can Hikamaru do it?
Yeah, bro, he's playing blindfolded.
Oh, shoot, I have no...
Good one. Thank you, Reduce, for the tier 1. That's pretty good, actually. That's a good clip. Thanks, you guys. What else do we have? What other clips do we have? The XQC special? Is this... What else do we have? Any fresh stuff from today? The XQC special? What is this? Okay.
Queen me, boy.
Okay, so White's winning here, right? VoyBoy has an extra pawn or something? Okay, so it's just going to be a draw, right? Does he lose somehow? No, he can't lose. There's only a knight.
No! That was 3? No! I thought... No! I thought... No, don't look at me! I can't believe I threw that so many times so hard. That was 3 times?
Oh, that's a great clip. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Oh my gosh, that's pretty hilarious. What's this? We have XQC or something playing Hikaru. I don't know what that is. What is this? It's only got 3 views, you guys. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. L Rob, what is this? Okay, let's watch.
Now I get his queen or I get his castle. Easy as hell. Oh wait, I'm stupid as fuck. I forgot his queen could come and take. Now I get his queen or...
Okay. I'm safe.
This is the game winner.
Oh, so bad, so bad, so bad. What else do we have? Oh. Hikaru's not happy. Yeah. Hikaru's speechless. Okay, what is this?
Bring a new piece out. I guess
don't think he's gonna see it,
defending the knight.
Oh, but
Yeah.
this is just. But my screen isn't showing. Is it? You can't see my face on that one. Okay. What else do we have? What is this? Weird smile?
A few, challenges in this game. So in the future, hopefully that will be easier.
Yeah, a little bit of a cheese, but don't see my cheese coming up when I come out the loser bracket. I'll take that much.
Yeah.
Sounds good?
Yeah,
sounds
all right. What was that face? Okay. Kind of weird. Weird champ. Man, there's so many clips you guys are spamming with. Let me see. What else do we have? There was some hands clip of trophies, right, or something? Some trophy clip that I just saw. Where was that? It was so far up. What else is there? Go back. Which Ludwig clip? This one? Okay.
Yeah, he's defending the knight. Yeah. I can't move him. I feel like I wanted to do C3, and I talked myself into C3, but now I'm recognizing maybe because I didn't activate my my knight soon enough, I should just.
All right, let's go back to
our.
our board on that end.
Yeah.
Because we did see his move, so we'll go back to talking here. Hikaru, he's keeping up the pattern. Hikaru?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, sorry, I'm still here. Yeah. Oh yeah. Actually, did I really just make the same face? Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I literally just did that. That's so bad. Okay, what is this? Okay. What is this? Oh, I got muted, okay.
Blindfolded!
Oh, you could have made me there, though.
Oh shit, I just spilled.
Okay, GG, Hans, GG. Oh, why is he so good blindfolded? What is this? Why are you good blindfolded? Pull it as well. I can't believe this. That's
Someone
crazy.
saw me outside. Someone looked through the window, saw, and then okay.
Okay. All right. I don't even actually have any trophies here, so I couldn't even do that flex if I wanted to. What other clips do we have? Any other clips from today? Like any like Swiftor clips or Papaplatte clips or anything? Yeah, no, I might play some chess later. I don't know yet. We'll see. Jeez. What else do we have? What else? Do we have any other good clips or not really? Guess yourself on Akinator. I mean, but that clip has no views. But okay, I'll watch it anyway.
Guys, I can do it again, but like I said, it's difficult.
You have 3.4 billion points for roulette in your channel. Roulette all you
Is it
fucking
character?
boosie PogChamp.
No.
Roulette all you fucking boosie PogChamp. Roulette.
Yes. Is he Asian?
Is this?
Yeah, for sure he is.
Oh no. Oh no, this is.
Yes.
This?
Damn, I shouldn't find it. 30 is not bad. That's not bad. Guys, I can do it again, but like I said.
Yeah, when I saw chess, I knew it had to be me. What is the picture? Sorry, I actually was laughing too hard. I didn't actually see. What's the picture? Oh, is this picture? Yeah, this is an ancient picture, you guys. This is a picture from like 2005. This is a picture from this one I played the United States Chess Championship in Seattle, Washington in 2000 and no, this is actually earlier. This is the first one I played. This is in 2003. And the first move is pawn at c4. So this is the game that I played in the first round of the 2003 United States Chess Championship against Jennifer Shahadi in Seattle, Washington. So this picture, I don't remember the date, but because the pawn is on c4 and there's a knight on f6 and there's a pawn on e6, if I go back to live chess, the opening was this. It was this. It was a McKenna's attack that I played. So just to clarify, let's just make sure. Okay, let's make sure that I'm right. Let's see. The moment of truth, you guys. Let's see. Am I right? Let's see. Drum roll. Let's see. Am I right or wrong? So the picture was taken on January 9th in 2003, if I'm not mistaken. But let's see. Let's see. Okay. Boom. Bing. Bang. Boom. Of course. What did I tell you guys? And I played E5. It was this McKenna's attack opening. So yeah, exactly, you guys. Easy clap. But yeah, so this picture was taken on January, where is it? It was taken on January 9th, 2003. So, like 17 and a half years ago, ages ago, different time. But yeah, all right. So those of you who are wondering, this is a picture from January 9th, 2003. What else do we have? How do I remember? Well, I remember because I'm dressed here. Like, I'm dressed in like a suit kind of, and I'm wearing a tie. And I also look really young. There weren't many tournaments I played. Also, if I look, we're gonna be an investigator here. If I look at this little placard with my name on it, you guys see my cursor, right? Do you guys see my cursor? You guys see my cursor, right? Yeah, you do? Okay, so you see my cursor. So you'll see there are these two heads here. And these two heads, this was the symbol for the U.S. Championship. It was for the America's Foundation for Chess. So that's also why I can tell that this was a picture from that event. So yeah, that's the other thing I can tell. Also, I think it says U.S. Championship. Yeah, it says C. You see right at the top of the picture, it says chess, and then it says CHAMPION. It says championship. That's championship. So that's also how I know. Anyway, whatever. Okay, that's doesn't neither here nor there, but whatever. Okay, what other clips do we have to watch? Hikaru is not happy about this move. Okay, what is this one?
Yeah, I'm only laughing because of how Forsen was excited.
Not
there.
Lose a piece, and I'm good.
He does have the right plan. He's trying not to lose his piece, but it might get stuck on.
Yeah, that's a good clip too. What else do we have? What else do we have? What's this? Nim?
Can you crawl under my desk? You need to hook up.
Sure.
The green thing. I unplugged it because it's. Oh
what?
My, oh, that's not. Oh, that's not the cable. Oh my goodness! Can you crawl under my desk? You need to hook up.
Sure.
The green thing.
That's not the cable.
Oh my! Oh, that's not. Oh, that's not the cable.
No.
Oh my goodness! Can you crawl under my?
Sorry. Sorry. Okay, let's see, what else do we have? Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know why, but that's just really funny. About Jim Hikaru, what is this? Okay.
I don't. Maybe he's genius. Chess genius, chat.
Wait, what?
I don't. Maybe he's genius. Chess genius, chat. Yes, I really. Ooh. Oh, I don't know. I don't like using brain.
I don't like using brain. Oh my gosh.
Maybe he's genius.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. You guys are killing me with the clips now. You guys are killing me with the clips. Okay, okay, what else is there? Okay, I gotta watch some other clips. Those last two clips are pure gold. I'm sorry. Hikaru can't get and Alex debated. What is this? Okay. He's on the right tempo. He's coming off the good move. So it's, oh no, bishop e6. Oh no.
Yeah, this is pretty bad. I mean, if boxbox gets the bishop, if Ludwig takes the bishop, then he's going to recapture. He's currently down a pawn, but he gets his pawn back. And on top of that, okay, I see the eval bar saying he's only up a pawn, but he has an attack on the king that I think is going to be very scary for boxbox.
Yeah, so basically you trade the bishops and then you take with the queen and then you move the knight with the fork.
Right. Oh, I mouse slipped trying to show your line.
He's on the right tempo. He's coming off the good move. So it's, oh no, bishop e6. Oh no. Yeah. I mean, I was really upset. I think I was just generally annoyed but I was annoyed because like I expect boxbox to play really good chess throughout. I mean, he is one of the prohibitive favorites in the event. So when he plays bad moves, it just kind of it does bother me. So what else do we have? Any other good clips from today? Do we have any other good clips? Oh man, there are a ton that just came in. Ludwig's thoughts on chess.com. Oh, is this from the interview? This is really good if it is. Yeah, that's a good clip. Any other clips, you guys, or is that it? Do we have any other clips? Any other clips related to today? VoyBoy makes... No, I already watched that, yeah. Hans asked Anna on a stream date. Okay, not going to watch that, obviously. Hans Papega, what is this?
Bro, listen, I'm just going to say that. Listen, Anna, don't make our boy... This is our boy. I'm just saying it right now. You're making him look like a clown. Don't look like a clown, bro. You are my boy, Hans. I love you. Okay? You are my boy. You are me and Dean's boy. Don't let a clown be like that. You don't do that shit to my boy.
Why did he agree on this?
Say again?
Say what?
Why did he agree on doing the stuff that he did? I mean, that's what we said that we were gonna do if he lost the match.
Yo, one sec. Yo, so Dean, are you there?
Listen. Slinger, bro. Slinger.
Okay, yeah, that's enough. That's way too dank. And isn't this where his phone gets leaked as well? I don't want to watch that on stream. Any other clips? Any other clips? Like, was it? Because I didn't watch the first match today. Do you guys have any other good clips related to the first match? Like, since I wasn't doing the commentary. No, it doesn't look like it. Right? Okay. Loosen up. What is this? Loosen up. Is this? What is this?
We are live. We're joined by Ludwig and boxbox. Ludwig, do you want to ask the question you just did?
But I don't speak German, you guys. How am I supposed to understand a clip if I don't understand German? I don't understand.
That's a good move. He's attacking two minor pieces at the same time, isn't
it?
Right
sorry,
there.
This isn't German. Sorry.
Okay, that was really loud.
Wait, what was that? Wait, what was that? Let me go back.
That's a good move. He's attacking two minor pieces at the same time, isn't he? Right, the knight on c3. Okay, that was really loud. His stretching was loud, but he's attacking the bishop.
That was a good clip. Yeah, that's a good clip. He did it. Good clip. Yeah, I was really happy to see that action because I think Papaplatte is one of the guys who like he's had minimal lessons. Obviously, he's a German streamer, so like to see him win his first game is really good to see. To get off to a very fast start, so I'm very happy to see him win his first game like that. Loosen up. What is this? Is this chess though? Is this just chess?
Really quickly.
What is this? Oh, is this from yesterday? Okay.
Already 7.5 minutes. 7 moves in for Nim.
What is Slicker doing? You see him just like getting around and
like, yeah, I'm looking now. He's whoa. What is this?
Bro, this guy, bro. This guy is so awkward, bro. Oh my god, this guy is. Oh, this guy right here, bro. This Rudisky guy. Oh, this guy's so awkward, bro. So awkward, bro.
Oh no.
Already 7.5 minutes. 7.
Bro, you gotta loosen up, bro. Like your girl's gonna end up cheating on you, bro. Like you gotta loosen up, bro. I'm telling you, I'm helping you out right now in life, right now, bro. I don't know you. You don't know me. I don't play chess. You play chess. I'm looking out for your best interest, bro. Your girl is gonna fuck the next dude she has the chance to fuck if you're just this fucking stale, bro. You're like unseasoned chicken.
Oh my gosh, that is so brutal. That is so brutal. What else do we have? Oh my gosh, that is so brutal. So brutal. Okay, what else do we have? Wow. Yeah, that is brutal. What else do we have? Botez continues. There was a mate in 43 one somewhere too, right? Of Janet that someone sent. I didn't see that one either. Well, I'm gonna watch 2 more. I'll watch 2 more clips. I'll watch that one and then I'll watch one other one. What do we have? Nim. Okay, I'll watch this one first. What is it? Checkmate in 43?
Okay, I mean, like, that was an okay game. You know, it wasn't a checkmate in 4. It was like a checkmate in 43. All right, it was a checkmate in 43. We take those. We take those.
Against forsen, that's pretty good, actually. That's a pretty good clip. Okay, what else do we have? I'll watch one more clip, you guys. One more clip. Which one am I going to watch? I'm not going to watch a Slicker clip. I already watched that. Are there any good forsen clips? Like, are there any good clips of forsen today when he was playing? So I feel like I haven't seen any forsen clips. Okay, let's watch a Nim one instead.
So I would call it Operation Nimrod here.
Got it.
So I'm gonna be doing review of PogChamps now for the next like hour or so, going over the games that we had. Back to chess, love you. XQCL, of course, to everybody out there as well. Those of you who are staying, thanks for staying. Those of you who are going, I'll see you guys again soon. Obviously, he's playing tomorrow against Moist Critical, one of the most anticipated matchups. So make sure to tune in. That will be, I think, at 5 p.m. Eastern or 6 p.m. Eastern. Not sure right off, but at any rate, that will be happening tomorrow. So it will not be on Nintendo Switch. It will be on chess.com. So you won't see mouse slips. There will be no batteries dying and all this other stuff. It'll be a clean fight. So yeah, that will be tomorrow at, I believe, 5 p.m. if I'm not mistaken, 5 p.m. Eastern. So we'll see. At any rate, you guys, I'm going to start doing analysis of the PogChamps games from today. So we'll start at the top of the slate. So first game of the day. Bye, I love you. Much love to everybody as well. We're going to do analysis of the first game today from PogChamps between E-Rob and NateHill. So we'll start with this. NateHill played a clinical game, one of the best games I've seen in all of PogChamps, honestly. So D4, Knight F6, Bishop F4. I think E-Rob, he lost the first game to he lost the first game to fuslie in the same opening. Oh, is there? Wait, what's wrong with? Wait, why is this all messed up? Sorry, what? That's some weird stuff. Sorry about that. Why did it get all messed up? I don't understand. Okay, sorry about that, you guys. Anyway, okay. Okay, so we will look at I'll make the camera a little bit bigger. Okay, there you guys go. Actually, I'll make it even bigger. Okay. All right, so we're gonna look at game one between E-Rob and NateHill. So Bishop F4 played by E-Rob, basically trying to play the same opening that he played against even bigger. Thank you guys. Touche. Thank you to Wazdev135 for the Prime, IEPNL for the Prime, Raiden LOL for the Prime, Chili for the Prime, Alien Bed with the Prime, Elliot Toller with the 2 months, Scrooby with the Prime, and Ali1694 3 months. Thank you so much, everybody. Okay. So let's take a look at the game. So E-Rob decides in this game to play something different. He decides to play the London setup. I think when I did the advanced scouting, I saw him playing like Knight C3 and E3. In the end, he decides to play Bishop F4. So Nate plays E6, E3. Following the plan, Nate plays B6 to put the bishop on the long diagonal with the sniper. Knight F3, Bishop B7, Bishop to D3. Nate plays D6, castles, Knight BD7, Knight to D2, Bishop to E7 here, played by Nate. C3, castles. What time is it in UTC? Okay, let me see if I can pull it up on my other monitor. Give me 1 second. Let me just see. What time is it? PogChamps. I'll pull it up quickly. Okay, so the matches in the schedule will be, it will be, tomorrow is June 9th, right? So the matches will be Papaplatte against Ludwig at 4 p.m. Eastern, and then XQC against Moist Critical at 5 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So 5 p.m. Eastern, which would be 11 p.m. In your European Central Standard Time. So 11 p.m. tomorrow if you're interested. Okay. All right, you guys. So in this game, Nate follows the routine. I told him basically get the king out of the center, get these pieces to these central squares. And I also gave Nate the idea that he could play rook e8, remove the bishop, and push the pawn. And incredibly, thank you to Willie for the prime. Basically, E-Rob falls right into the trap. Rook e8, rook e1, bishop f8 to push the pawn to e4. So E-Rob goes rook f1, already kind of losing the threat a little bit. One thing that I wish that Hans had maybe told E-Rob is specifically to think about the pawns around the king and to never try and create this sniper's nest, because it's an empty nest. There's no sniper sitting in the nest here waiting to scope something. So basically you see like black has created the sniper's nest, but there's a sniper there. Whereas when you try to create this formation, the nest or the empty hat or whatever you want to call it, if there's nothing behind, it's very dangerous and it weakens your king. Oh, he did, but E-Rob didn't listen. Oh, okay. Hans told him that and he just didn't. He just forgot. Oh, he just forgot. Okay, so rook e8, rook e1, bishop f8 played by Nate. Idea to play e5. Rook f1, just kind of, I think E-Rob was losing the thread a little bit, wasn't quite sure what to do. And now Nate plays e5, attacking the bishop. E-Rob takes, Nate correctly takes with the pawn, not with the knight. Bishop to g5, and Nate plays e4 here. And at this point, already black is much better. You're forking the knight and the bishop with one pawn, and if white, and one way thing is that if white captures, you take, and then you take the knight, and you're ahead by one extra knight because you have 1, 2, 3. White has 1, 2, so you're ahead of knight for one pawn here. Now, objectively, E-Rob should have probably taken the pawn. Instead, he goes bishop c2. E takes f3 is played here. And now E-Rob makes a very fatal mistake. He plays queen takes pawn. E-Rob said Hans is a terrible coach after he lost. Okay. Let me finish the analysis of this game, and then we'll watch some of the E-Rob clips. So E-Rob blunders queen f3, and now Nate correctly sees he's got the sniper from a distance, and he captures the queen. Knight f3, h6, another extremely good move by Nate here. Attacks the bishop. Black is already up one queen for a bishop here, so what you want to do is you want to exchange your pieces so your opponent has less forces to attack you with. So E-Rob goes bishop h4. Nate correctly plays g5, trapping the bishop on the edge of the board. Bishop has no retreating squares, and the pawns support each other, so now E-Rob has to go full on kamikaze. He takes the pawn. But at this point, black already has a queen and a knight, basically, in return for 3 pawns. So black has a queen and a knight, and white has 3 pawns in return for that. So obviously, a queen and a knight is a lot stronger than 3 pawns, as we all know. So queen e7, rook f d1 is played here. Nate plays knight to e5. Now I was very happy to see when Nate played knight e5. He saw knight f3 check coming. I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? I didn't get that. Okay. All right, you guys. Let me try it. Let me take a deep breath. So basically with knight e5, the idea is to fork the bishop and the king. E-Rob correctly sees it, goes bishop f4. Knight f3, king g2. Now Nate goes knight e5. E-Rob plays bishop e4. Now here, unfortunately, Nate plays rook d8. He could have just played knight takes bishop. This is a free bishop here. But he goes rook d8. So E-Rob correctly sees the bishop is under attack. He retreats it. Nate trades the rooks. Now he goes knight d3. Another excellent move, attacking the bishop, attacking the pawn. And if white doesn't move the bishop, then of course black will trade the knight for the bishop. So bishop g5. Knight takes b2 played. E-Rob played bishop a4, and Nate correctly sees that the knight can recapture the bishop from this square on b2. And after b3 or a3, Nate just starts cleaning up the board. Knight takes pawn, bishop f4, rook to d8, taking the open file. Very good move by Nate. You want to bring the rook down, try to attack the king, maybe put a knight in, and it's basically already over. So rook c1 is played. Whoa! Thank you to VoyBoy for the raid with 2,512 people. Thank you so much to VoyBoy for the raid. We are actually looking at the games from the from PogChamps today. So actually, very shortly, we'll be looking at VoyBoy's game against Fuslie, the second game in this event. So make sure to stay tuned. I'm gonna have plenty of criticism for the boy. His opening was definitely not what I expect from one of the favorites in the tournament, and he definitely needs to improve on that. So I'm definitely expecting VoyBoy to play some proper refined openings, not some sort of like silly bishop check, which doesn't really do a whole lot on move 5. Anyway, joking aside, we will be looking at, but again, thank you to VoyBoy thank you for the host with 2,862 people. Thank you so much. No one coached VoyBoy. This is true. I mean, it's one thing that's weird when you look at the groups is there's certain people who are definitely going to make it through. So I think for someone like VoyBoy or Hutch, both of them have won 2 games. Both of them are definitely into the next round. I think the thing for them is it's more like instead of focusing on the individual games, they should be looking further ahead to who they're playing and thinking about what they want to review for that champions bracket, because both VoyBoy and Hutch are already through to the next round. It's a bracket best of 3. It's best of 2.
$5. Give Lamont a break. The law of Lamont prevents him from winning, despite amazing coaching.
Yeah, thank you, Hans, for the $5 tip. We'll watch some clips, of course. So Nate plays rook c8, rook takes knight, rook takes bishop, and at this point, black is up. What? He's got a queen. He has a queen, a knight, and a bishop, and in return for 2 pawns. Obviously, 2 pawns is not enough compensation for a queen, a bishop, and a knight. So a4. Nate plays queen a3. Thank you to Fluffyhead for the prime. Thank you so much. King f1. Nate just professionally starts cleaning it up. Takes the pawn. Rook e1. Bishop b4. Another excellent move to attack the rook. Rook to b1. Nate goes bishop d2. King e2. Rook c2. Another good move. Protecting the bishop. Rook d1. And now Nate plays knight to e4. An absolute brilliant move because you want to fork the king and the rook. And then after f3, he goes knight c3. And yeah, I'm not going to go through the rest of the game, but Nate did convert this position. He was already up a queen, a knight, a bishop, and a rook. And he won this game very, very cleanly. So a lot of props to NateHill for playing a very solid second game. He had a really tough first round game. He had a very tough first round game against VoyBoy himself. So very, very, very impressive game by Nate. I mean, I was amazed that, I don't know, like maybe I'm just getting lucky here, but it seems like when I've been preparing players and giving them basic concepts, more often than not, they're actually getting them on the board. I won that game from, well, you could almost argue the same thing for Fuslie's game against E-Rob, where I gave her a very straightforward plan. She listened, she executed on the plan, and she won the game. And Nate did the exact same thing today. And it was a fantastic win for NateHill. Really, really, really impressive to start with a win. So Nate played everything that I said. I said, put the bishop, make the sniper's nest, put the bishop here, bring the knight, don't close the diagonal. And then I also told him, try to force his pawn break. Bishop rook e8, bishop f8 with e5, e4. So a lot of credit to NateHill. Obviously, people will say, yes, I helped him win the game. Sure, my preparation was good. But what I would say is that Nate was very good in listening to what I told him that he should be looking for, the specific plan to be played. So very, very impressive game by NateHill. All right, you guys, I'm actually going to run to the restroom very quickly, and then we will go on to some clips, and then game 2, the important game, and the reason that VoyBoy, I'm sure, is still here watching. Let me see. Is he still here? He must still be here. Yeah, VoyBoy's still here. So I'm going to go run to the restroom very quickly, and then we'll move on to game 2 between VoyBoy and Fuslie. So just give me 1 second. I'll be right back. All right, you guys. Okay, so we are back. So we will move on to the second game between VoyBoy and Fuslie. Let me pop this up. Let me flip the point of view. So in the second round, this was also in Group A, the match between VoyBoy, the Genius, and Fuslie. I saw Nate almost stalemated, but yeah. Anyway, let's look at this game. So VoyBoy plays E4, obviously a big favorite here to win this game. So E4, C6. Fuslie follows my recommendation to play the Caro-Kann defense against VoyBoy. D4, D5 played here. VoyBoy trades. A little bit of an antique kind of setup. I don't know. Perhaps VoyBoy had not looked at this opening ahead of time. But based on what I've seen about VoyBoy and his style playing, yes, the Caro-Kann. Exactly. Yes, totally. 5-head. I feel like VoyBoy's style is more. It's more. Oh, VoyBoy didn't know it. Okay, yeah. What I would recommend is like for someone like VoyBoy who's playing more aggressive, playing like the Sicilian Dragon, the accelerated dragon with black pieces. It makes more sense to be aggressive with white as well. And this just doesn't, to me, seem to fit his style that much. So probably what I'd recommend to VoyBoy going forward is to be aggressive, to try to attack. And the way that I would recommend that he goes about this, I'm not basically giving a lesson right now, but what I would recommend is to play pawn here. Black brings the bishop out and play knight c3, pawn to e6, and now go pawn to g4, bishop to g6, followed by knight g to e2 with the idea of trying to fling all your pawns on the king's side and harass this bishop immediately from the get-go. This is called the advanced Caro-Kann. So I would definitely recommend that VoyBoy, if he has a chance to look at this, is probably what I recommend, is to be very aggressive, go for the kill immediately, and something along these lines is probably what I recommend. Now, of course, the engine doesn't know what it's talking about at depth 21, but this is definitely something that I would recommend. Conversely, if I had to say something else, if he doesn't want to be super hyper aggressive, he can also play a very traditional approach with pawn takes pawn, and then play bishop here. Obviously, it's a little bit drier, but black brings the knight out to hit the pawn. And now you play pawn here, and it's kind of like the broken hat because you no longer have the whole hat that you had to trade the pawns. But after knight to f6, you can play bishop to f4 with the idea of going knight d2, knight f3, castling, and bringing rook to the center. This is a system that was employed by 2 former world champions. The first one being Jose Raul Capablanca, and then also the system was played quite a few times by the other boy genius, Bobby Fischer, in the 1960s and 70s. So this is called the Exchange Caro-Kann. You can play this or play the Advanced, but one of these two systems I would probably... Raul, exactly, you guys. So I would probably recommend that VoyBoy looks at one of these two systems. I don't know if he'll play anyone else in the upcoming rounds. If Fuslie makes it through, I might give her something to play in this, but again, that's very far off, and we'll see what happens. But this is more what I would recommend. H4 instead of knight c3. I think H4 is too advanced at this level. I don't think it's a system that conceptually makes a whole lot of sense. So I would definitely not recommend it. All right, so let's get back to the game. So bishop to b5 was played here. Dude, Kratos, like, stop writing the same message. I mean, jeez, dude, come on. Okay, so bishop b5 is played. So now Fuslie plays knight c6, correct move. VoyBoy plays knight f3, trying to develop. She plays bishop to g4. Fuslie needs fundamentals. I don't think she'd be able to secure a win, even if she got a big advantage out of the opening she studied. Yeah, I guess you could say that, but it's also very hard because you're trying to, in like 1 hour, 1.5 hours, try to give people a basic setup they can play where they're comfortable and they don't blunder a piece immediately. So it's tricky. I mean, it's not so easy to just come up with something that they can play right away. So she plays bishop g4, correct move. Again, one thing that I always stress when I've been giving these lessons is try to follow the plan. Try to do something that's logical that I've explained, because generally similar setups, you can do similar development of your pieces relative to what I have shown. So bishop to e3. VoyBoy, again, with these pawns like this, should have pushed the pawn and created this chain of 3. Bishop e3 is probably not best. I think already black maybe has some ideas like queen b6 to hit the bishop and the pawn. At any rate, Fuslie plays e6. VoyBoy castles, and this is where the game got away from Fuslie. She played knight g7. What she should have done here is played bishop to d6. And as you guys can see from the evaluation, at this point, black is already significantly better here. Maybe not significantly, but you can tell that the evaluation bar, it's already gone for black, because black is very straightforward development. Black can move the king. There's also this very annoying pin on the knight and the queen here. So it's very, very good for black. And one thing that was unfortunate is that Fuslie has a very good memory. And I could tell from watching the stream, when she played knight here, not only is it not the best move, but she realized that she should have put the bishop out first. And so I think psychologically after this move, it was very hard for her, since in her mind she was actually able to play it back or run it back and remember that she was supposed to bring out the bishop first. And the reason for that is now actually you have to waste a move moving the knight to finish the development and get the king. Whereas if you bring it out right away, it's 1, 2, 3, and here it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. You have to go like 1, 2, 3, and then like somewhere around here you get it in one more move than you would have if you brought the bishop out right away. So she goes knight e7. VoyBoy plays h3. She plays bishop f5. What she should have done here, I guess, was to take the knight and then just, again, try to put pressure on this point and finish the development with bishop d6 and castling the king. But it's very hard at this point to figure it out. If she had found bishop c2, on which move? Bishop c2 on which move? I'm not sure which move. Anyway, she goes bishop f5. VoyBoy plays c3. Now she plays bishop e4. Again, at this point, black is very far behind development, so probably what you need to do, again, is move this knight and develop this bishop. Very awkward. If you're not a super strong chess player, it's going to be sort of a system that, like, it's going to be a sequence of moves that really is illogical. So I'm not shocked that she played this. Unfortunately, now after knight e5, VoyBoy jumps on the offensive here. She goes g6. Now VoyBoy finds another excellent move, bishop g5, creating the double pin. The knight and the bishop provide serious pressure here. Fuslie goes queen c7. And now here VoyBoy plays a very bad move. And this is the only move during the entire game that I'm going to be extremely critical of VoyBoy for, because at this point he was completely winning the game. He has two very, very, very nice bishops, a very, very nice knight, and he's very much on the offensive. And what he should have done here is move the bishop to f6, forcing the rook to move. And so one thing that I've stressed many times is when you try to create this formation, which is like the hat or the sniper's nest or whatever you want to call it, you always want a bishop behind. And after queen c7, white can go here to hit the rook. Black has to move the rook, and now after a move like knight to d2, white is simply crushing here. The bishop is bad. You can't castle your king. You can't go this way really without getting hammered on this side of the board. So at this point, it's completely winning for white. So I was very disappointed in VoyBoy for this failure. He decided to take the knight, and after taking the knight, after bishop takes bishop, the position is completely gone. It's still better for white, but it's actually not winning anymore. And the advantage, as you guys can see, is it's creeping back down. Now it's only +1 at this point. So knight d2, very good move by VoyBoy. Leslie castles here, or fuslie, I should say, castles. And now f3 is played. This actually was a big boo-boo by VoyBoy. At this point, what he probably should have done is traded the knight, taken the bishop, and played like queen to e2 or rook to e1. The point being that after like queen to e2, black has to go f5 to support the pawn, and now white can just chip away at the center. After pawn takes, you go rook takes. You bring everything here. You've got a really nice knight, and there's going to be maximum pressure coming right towards the pawn on e6 here. So at this point, I think it's already really, really good for white. I mean, I guess I played the wrong order. Maybe you'd even just take with the knight. But at any rate, all the ideas revolve around putting pressure on this pawn here on e6. So this would have been very good. Instead, VoyBoy played f3, which I mean, it's still an okay move, but I think black is an extremely brilliant tactic here, which is bishop to c2. Nobody would see this move, by the way. It's just like not a move that a human... I mean, I would see the move, but okay, I'm a grandmaster, so it's a little bit different. But it's not a move that I would expect anyone in this event to see. It's a very tough move to spot. Danny would probably see it because he's an IM, but I'm saying anyone in this tournament I don't think would spot. They would not spot this move because it's a very difficult move to play. The reason being that in this position, if white captures the bishop with the queen, you can go knight takes pawn. And now it's a double attack on the bishop and the queen. If you capture, you lose your queen. And when you move your queen up, now I just take the bishop, you capture, and now I take the knight. And even though it's going to be even material here, due to all the weaknesses, these the Swiss cheese pawns here, black is winning. I mean, I think everything is winning, but probably just this. And you see the pawns are so ugly. Black is a complete bind on these dark squares around the white king, and so it's completely winning for black. So that's why bishop c2 is such a strong move. And if white tries to, I don't know, move the queen here, for example, black can just simply take. If you take with the pawn, there's queen here, which is a double attack. You check the king and the bishop. And if white trades with the queen, you can just go bishop to d6. And again, it's Swiss cheese town. You have these super ugly pawns. These are super bad. They're just like, it's a very ugly systemic structure. And black is much, much better here. So bishop c2 would have been an unbelievable find. But I don't expect anyone in this tournament to spot a move like that. Instead, fuslie played queen a5, which unfortunately is a blunder. What she probably should have done, if you don't see this bishop move, was take the knight. If white takes with the pawn, then you go check again. Same double attack on the bishop and the king. And if white correctly takes the bishop here, you can just very simply, I guess, move your knight back. And white's maybe a little bit better, but the material is balanced, and it's not so easy for white to prove the advantage. I've been watching too much news. What do you mean I've been watching too much news? I know what you mean. So queen a5 is played here now. VoyBoy takes with the bishop. Pawn takes bishop, and at this point, VoyBoy takes the bishop on e4. The correct move actually would have been knight takes pawn, because you hit the queen and you hit the bishop here, and so black has to retreat the queen, and then you take with check. Black captures, and then you capture the bishop, and you're ahead by a knight and I believe like 2 pawns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, it's a knight and a pawn. So it's very, very strong for white. Instead, VoyBoy takes, which is also completely fine. The only difference is you leave the pawn on c6 on the board, but objectively not a huge difference in terms of result. Queen a6, VoyBoy takes, fuslie takes correctly. Queen g4, very strong move. Fuslie now blunders rook d8. At this point, it's already really, really bad for her. But I will say I was extremely impressed that she made it to this point. We're already at move 18. She's only down a bishop, and if she makes a couple of good moves here, maybe VoyBoy will make a blunder and she'll have a chance. But at any rate, to survive this long without making any very serious mistakes speaks to the level of talent that she has and the potential if she makes it into the champions bracket in the next if she wins the next round and moves on to the champions bracket. So, okay, she goes rook d8. Now, VoyBoy correctly takes. The knight guards the rook. Bishop f6, and VoyBoy takes. He could have played rook takes pawn for style points, but the way he played it was fine because he got the style points anyway, because after rook f6, rook b8, goes rook takes pawn. Fuslie takes. Queen takes pawn. And now king f8. If king to h8, you go knight f7. Same kind of checkmate. Queen covers all the critical squares. And after king to f8, white goes queen to f7 with checkmate. Knight guards the queen. And with this move, VoyBoy wins the second game. Very critical. Very critical, very important victory. He got style points for the rook sack at the end of the game. And with that, he moves to 2 out of 2. And he's now on 6 points. Guaranteed to make the champions bracket. So impressive stuff from VoyBoy. Obviously, there were some minor issues. I think maybe he needs to fine-tune the opening setup. But overall, very, very good chess from him. Very, very solid and not a whole lot to complain about. All right, so let's move on to the third game, and then I'll watch clips. I'll discuss the brackets and all of that stuff, but we'll go on to the third game. So the third game was the game between Yassuo and Hutch. Hutch being white, Yassuo being black. Thanks, Hikaru. I'll play better next time, taking your teachings to heart. I mean, I think really the main thing is for these top guys, especially these top four, VoyBoy, Hutch, well, top three, I should say. VoyBoy, Hutch, and boxbox. Forsen should qualify, but I'm not going to say he's locked to qualify. So in terms of those first three guys specifically, it's like try to just fine-tune the slight things in your game. You know, it's like fine-tune that violin. You keep tweaking it, keep fine-tuning it, and as long as he does that going into the championship bracket, he's going to have good chances. Forsen should qualify. I just don't think he's as much of a favorite as those other three to make it through, because I think he could lose to Slicker. I think he could also lose to Nim. Those guys are dangerous. Now, it's not to say he will lose, but I think there is a possibility that's higher than the possibility was of these other three top seeds. So, all right, you guys, let's move on to game three between Hutch and Yassuo. So Hutch plays d4, Yassuo plays d5, c4, c6, knight to c3, Yassuo plays e6, bishop f4 by Hutch. There's no way he loses Slicker. I'm not saying he will. I'm saying I think there's a higher probability than there was the other top three seeds losing to someone, losing to number 4, number 3, or number 2 seed. That's all I'm saying. All right. So Yassuo decides to play a very sort of avant-garde opening. He decides to play the Swiss cheese opening itself, creating all sorts of holes on the dark squares. This is known as basically a stone wall. So you basically try to put all the pawns like in some kind of weird formation. I guess for some reason you call this a stone wall. Don't ask me why. So f5, knight f3 is played by Hutch. Yassuo plays bishop d6. Again, trying to create the messed up hat, because like the hat looked good with the pawn with the 1 2 3 1 2 3, but black has this ugly pawn on the wrong square. So it's like this is kind of like an attempt at a hat, but you've messed it up because you pushed the pawn onto f5. So bishop takes d6, queen takes d6. Stone walls have holes in them. Right, that's why it's called the Stonewall defense, because stone walls have holes in them. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. Yeah, that's a good one, you guys. But basically, black has this hole on e5. White can put the knight here. But basically, this is called the Stonewall. Don't ask me why. So okay, so queen d6. Hutch plays c5. Not a move that I really liked. Because you kind of close down this side of the board, but at the same time, white can now focus on trying to attack on this side by pushing the pawns up. So pawn to e3, Yassuo plays knight f6, bishop d3, Yassuo plays knight e4, Hutch plays queen c2, Yassuo castles, Hutch castles. Yassuo plays b5 here. Now, this is a move that is really unnecessary. What I liked about this opening for Yassuo is that it's a very straightforward opening. And because it's straightforward, the way you can play is go knight here, bing, bang, boom, and then you try to attack all the way down right towards the white king. So I actually really like this this opening setup by Yassuo. Unfortunately, he didn't quite understand the concept, and he pushed his pawn. If he had just continued with knight d7 and then played like rook f6, rook h6, followed by knight f6 and knight g4, he would have had a reasonably good position. I think he might have found a way to cause the big upset. Unfortunately, he didn't do this. And the problem with what he did, which is b5, is basically you give white targets here to attack on the queen side. So after b4, Rook f6, white goes knight e5. Now you can no longer bring the knight. And because you can't bring the knight since you lose this pawn, it means that all three of these pieces right here on this side are just kind of gonna basically become dead. They're just not gonna get into the game the way you wanted to. He thought d7, but he thought he would get pushed out. I mean, the important thing to realize when you play an opening like the Stonewall is that it's a bad opening. You're giving up a lot of space on one side of the board. So what you have to do is you really do need to be like Stonewall Jackson, just go all aboard and try to attack and try to win right away, and concede that you're going to lose on this side of the board, but try to just go for the checkmate. Because otherwise you're toast. So b5. b4 played, rook f6, and now knight to e5. And now, as I said, you can't move the knight because now you lose the pawn. Rook h6, knight takes e4, pawn takes knight, bishop to e2. And again, problem is that you have these three pieces that can't come into the game because the knight dominates the knight and it's stuck at home here. So queen to c7, pawn to f3 is played here. What toast? Yeah, toast, exactly. So h3 played by Hutch, knight d7, knight to g4. Not a move that I'm thrilled by. I thought actually at this point f3 right away was very, very strong for Hutch. But he goes here, knight d7, and now knight g4 played by Hutch to attack the rook. Rook g6, f3. And now here, Yasuo misses a huge opportunity here to play pawn to h5. Because this attacks the knight. If white moves the knight back, now black can go queen to g3. And you create a checkmate with the queen and the rook. White has no way to stop it other than to give up a knight, but then you're just up one knight. So h5 was a huge miss by Yasuo, because even though objectively white is better, I don't know if Hutch is necessarily strong enough to just gambit the knight like this and give it away. And if white doesn't actually, if white doesn't gambit the knight here and moves the knight back this way, after knight to f6, queen g3 is coming, bishop d7, rook f8. All kinds of good moves are coming, and at this point, it's really, really good for. It's really, really good, I would say, for black. So I was kind of surprised that this didn't happen in the game. I thought it would have been very interesting to see what goes on in this case. Oh, Yasuo only learned this a few hours before the game. Okay. Yeah, I can see why he had trouble then, but he should have told me in a DM, because then I would have actually, like, I could have, in those 10 minutes that he needed help, I could have totally told him privately what to do. He should have just sent me a DM rather than me showing him this QGA thing, because he could have just told me, and I would have just, like, I would have DM'd him. So that's oh well, happens. At any rate, this didn't happen. So after rook g6 f3, he plays knight f6. Levy talked to him after your lesson. Oh, it was after or before? When did Levy help him? Was it before what I mentioned, or was it after what I mentioned? I guess is the question. I mean, that's really the big question. Oh, and Yasuo is in the chat. It was after. Okay, then it's no biggie. I thought it was before, but it was after. Okay, it was after. Okay, all right, that makes sense. So then let me go back to opening. So this whole thing was relatively okay, but again, when you play the Stonewall where you put the pawns like this, you're always conceding the center square. So positionally, you're much worse, and it's all about trying to attack. So basically what I would say in regards to this opening is you just admit that you've done something wrong. You just try to go bring everything over. You want to rush. So just to give an example, what you try to do is you try to basically rush everything as fast as you can over to this side of the board and try to attack down towards the white king. So the main thing that you do when you play this opening is you admit that you're giving up on one side of the board and there are problems, but the whole goal is to try and bring all your forces over to the king side and attack immediately if you can. So b5 was probably the critical error. Probably just do the same thing, knight d7, rook f6, rook h6, but don't create this critical weakness with this pawn being too advanced. So let's go back to the game. So he plays knight f6 and knight e5, rook h6. And now Hutch goes rook f2. Very nice move, trying to stack the rooks on the f file and create the mating threat. Yasuo goes bishop d7. Hutch plays rook f1. Yasuo plays bishop e8. And even though the position is losing, I will say I was very impressed. I'm sure that Gotham Chess showed him this idea of bringing the bishop around to exchange in some position. Not sure what position exactly, but the fact that he still was able to understand the concept and try to do it was very impressive for me. So Hutch takes the pawn on e4. Yasuo plays bishop g6. Now, again, the game is really kind of out of reach at this point already, but to see a move like bishop g6, rather than blundering knight takes pawn and rook f8 checkmate because the rooks protect each other, to go bishop g6, takes rook g6, and now e takes d5, knight d5. At this point, I was actually very impressed because I thought here Yasuo might actually still be in the game with a shot at winning it because the knight is very good. It attacks both pawns. The king is a little bit open here. So I was impressed that hutch, or not hutch, that Yasuo stayed in the game. So now he goes queen d2. And this is the last spot where Yasuo had a really, really golden opportunity to at least stay in the game, which is to play queen to g3. The idea being that you hit the pawn on e3 with the knight and the queen. And if white say moves the bishop, you can actually just take the pawn back because the king is pinned, so white can't recapture. And if this happens, I know the computer says white is much better, and white is, but the moves are not straightforward, and the material is even. So I think if this had happened, Yasuo would have had a very good chance to win this game. So a little bit of a disappointment, certainly, but he had a shot here. Instead, he goes rook e8, blundering this really nasty skewer bishop h5, and now black loses a rook. So he goes queen g3 now. Again, still seeing good moves, by the way. Still seeing good moves, even though he's losing. So takes, queen g6, a3 is played. Now Yasuo plays e5. Very nice move. Really like this idea to try and open up the center part of the board. Queen a2, they take. And this is a concept that I think is important to remember if you think about it, which is that when your king is kind of in danger, whether it's here or whether it's here, the best way to avoid the back rank checkmate is to create luft, which is to push your pawn on the very edge so that your king can run up one square. And you'll see like white has the luft already where the king can come up one square. So very important with both colors when you're feeling uncomfortable and your king is kind of stuck here where your opponent's trying to checkmate you on the back rank. It's very important to remember that you always have this opportunity to push pawns and create luft so you have space for the king on the side of the board. Instead, Yasuo goes king h8, blundering this unfortunate back rank checkmate, rook f8, rook f8, rook f8, leading to a checkmate. And again, the king is stuck. You have no squares where you can come up. So therefore, Hutch wins this game by checkmate and guarantees himself to finish, or not finish, but to qualify for the champions bracket. So relatively good game by Yasuo. I really did like his play throughout. Other than pushing this one pawn move, most of the moves he found were of a good quality. Obviously not perfect moves, but of a good enough quality that he could have won the game if he had played a couple in-between moves better. So I was very impressed by Yasuo. I think certainly he's going to be dangerous. He should be the odds-on favorite in his final game, but it will be, of course, it will be stressful, and there will be pressure when he plays against Moist Critical in the final game. So nonetheless, a lot of credit to Yasuo for playing more or less a very good game. Understood the concepts very well. It's just unfortunately the guy who's playing against with this one bad pawn move, it was a little bit too much. But I like the concept. I like the preparation. I liked most of what I saw in this game from Yasuo. So it was a very good game. So, all right, you guys. On that note, let's take a look at the standings. I'm going to pull up the standings here. Just give me 1 second. So we are going to pull up the standings since I believe there are definitely people who now have qualified and guaranteed themselves a spot in the next round. So let's take a look at these standings. So here are the standings, you guys, and they are as follows. You can see they're on Group A. VoyBoy has 6 points. NateHill is 3, and fuslie has 3, and eRob has 0. So basically, NateHill and fuslie play in the next matchup. The winner of that matchup is going to finish second in Group A. So it's going to be a really critical game. Unfortunately, eRob in his third and final game in Group A has to go up against the boy genius, the Rock, the favorite of the whole tournament, VoyBoy. So it's going to be a very tough third round matchup for him. But again, you never know. There might be some kind of surprise that happens in eRob's favor. So anyway, that is Group A, which the second spot will all come down to the game between NateHill and fuslie. And to be clear, you guys, the way the brackets work, if my understanding is not wrong, is that the player who finishes in first place in Group A will play the person who finishes in second place in Group B. So we're lining up for a very interesting first matchup in the quarterfinals between VoyBoy and Yasuo, potentially a battle of the league legends themselves. So again, what we're looking at right now is I think Group A first place plays second place in Group B, and then the second place in Group A will play the first place in Group B. And then, of course, same thing in Group C and D. So in Group C, the first seed in Group C will play the second seed in Group D, and the second seed in Group C will play first player in Group D. So so let's take a look then, moving on past Group A. So in Group B, we have Hutch with 6 points as well, guarantees himself to qualify for the champions bracket. Yassuo on 3 points. But the last game has not been played yet. So the last game is going to be the all-important showdown tomorrow between Moist Critical and xQc. So depending on that result, we'll have a better idea. I'm assuming it'll probably be Critical. Critical result, someone will probably win the game. Whoever wins that game will move to 3 points. However, the one thing that should be said is, unlike in Group A, where the top seed does not play the bottom seed, in Group B, if xQc wins his matchup, he will have already played against Yassuo. So his final matchup will be against Hutch, unlike, say, in Group A, where the 2 people on 3 points play each other. So in Group B, it's more complicated. I think if Moist Critical beats xQc, then the matchup between Moist Critical and Yassuo in the final match of Group B will determine who finishes in second place. So a lot of stuff going on in the brackets in Group B for sure. So yeah. So let's move on past Group B. Let's go on to Group C. So in Group C, there have been no games played in this second round. So tomorrow, I think we have. Actually, do we have the matchups tomorrow or not? Let me double check if Group C is tomorrow. If that's Group D. Give me 1 second. Let me pull this up. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. So let me double check. So tomorrow is June 9th. We have Papaplatte against Ludwig and xQc against Moist Critical. So actually, Group D is kind of up in the air as well. You have Papaplatte with 3 points. You have boxbox with 3 points. Swiftor with 0 and Ludwig with 0. However, when we look at Group D, I think that Ludwig is one of the big favorites, so it's a very critical matchup. If Ludwig beats Papaplatte, then the final game 3 will be very critical. If Papaplatte can beat Ludwig tomorrow, he will actually move on and qualify for the champions bracket. So that's a very interesting matchup between Papaplatte and Ludwig tomorrow. And then, of course, the other game, the all-important, the fantastic grudge match between Moist Critical and xQc. So, again, both matchups will have a very important role in terms of determining who is going to be qualifying for the Champions Club. For the Champions Bracket. Champions Bracket. Two critical matchups tomorrow that will be very important. I'm going to make a prediction. I think Ludwig is probably going to beat Papaplatte, and I'm going to predict that xQc is going to beat Moist Critical. Again, anything can happen, but we have two very important matchups. In terms of the other groups, very exciting. NateHill and Fuslie playing to qualify for the Champions Bracket. And then in Group C, we still have all the games left, which will be on June 10th. June 10th, it will be Forsen against Slicker, and I believe it will be it'll be Nim against Chocobars, and then there will be Forsen against Slicker. So Group C is still a little bit undetermined because there are 2 games that have to be played on Wednesday. But tomorrow there are going to be 2 more very tight matchups, and then on Wednesday it'll be much clearer in terms of what the breakdowns are. But if I'm angling or eyeballing the brackets right now, I'm looking at VoyBoy probably playing Yassuo. I'll eyeball NateHill or Fuslie playing against Hutch. And then to see in Group D, I'm assuming boxbox and Ludwig will be 1 and 2. And then Forsen or I guess just because Nim is 3 right now, I'll assume Nim finishes in second place. We'll be having some big matchups like boxbox potentially against Nim and Ludwig against Forsen in the champions bracket. So it could be a very exciting champions bracket. Group C, I think, is the one that is most unclear at the moment, but we'll see what happens. It's going to be definitely an interesting set of matchups. I think Group C is the one where anything can happen. Nim could qualify, Slicker could qualify, Chocobars could qualify. Very, very unclear in terms of it. Dark horse winner in the tournament. Okay, so you guys want me to give you a dark horse winner based on people who I've seen play. Okay, I'll give you guys a dark horse winner. Is he still in chat? Let's see. Is he still in chat? Let's see. Is he still here? He is still here. My dark horse winner, the person who I think is the dark horse, who's not one of the favorites right now. There are 2 of them, but I'll tell you who I think the dark horse. My main dark horse is going to be Yassuo. I think Yassuo is my favorite in terms of the dark horse to win the whole event. Yassuo and Ludwig are the 2 people who I think could be very surprising and win the win the champions bracket. Those are the two guys that I would say are my dark horses to win the whole thing. Because I would say there are probably 4 clear favorites. There's VoyBoy, there's Hutch, there's forsen, and there's boxbox. Those should be the top 4 guys. The dark horses to win the event are definitely Yasuo and Ludwig. Those are the 2 guys who I think are the dark horses who could win the whole thing. Yasuo can't win against VoyBoy. I'm not so sure about that. Yasuo put up a very good fight against Hutch today. And beyond that, also, he's very sharp tactically. He sees a lot of very good tactical solutions to problems. So I think Ludwig and Yasuo are the two biggest dark horses. Fuslie could be a dark horse, but I'm not convinced that she's sharp enough tactically to probably beat someone like a Hutch. So to give you an example, one of the reasons that I'm talking about Yasuo being a dark horse is because he's very good at these tactical puzzles. And one thing that matters is, like, people can be stronger than you. In fact, I'll give you a perfect example. So, like, I'm obviously a super-grandmaster. If I play against somebody who is like an international master, I'm obviously much better than them. I understand the game much better than an international master, right? I mean, obviously, I'm a stronger player. I have more elo. Like, there are many things I do better. But the one way where I could actually lose to an international master is they could trick me in a tactical position where they see a sequence of moves and they calculate it better than I do. And so to extrapolate that back this way, when you have these guys playing, you could have someone like Yasuo spot attack against VoyBoy or against someone else and win the game because he wins a queen. So that's what I would say is, so like the matchup where you're going to have an underdog winning is when you have the guy who sees the tactical puzzle or the girl who sees the tactical puzzle, and they spot the tactical puzzles, and it's just a knockout blow where they win like a rook or a queen, and they just win the game. So that's why I'm going to say, I would say Yasuo is my big dark horse favorite to win the whole event. And Ludwig after that, I think Ludwig is actually extremely strong too. Both of those guys I think are very dangerous. And Ludwig also almost beat boxbox in their individual matchup. So those are the 2 guys I